Let's get this straight. Everyone was excited because there was a very good chance that XRP would reach $10,000 as soon as the year started. What else do you know? Things are turning out a lot more like you thought. Larry Fink of BlackRock publicly agrees with this. Look at this. It's not just $10,000 per XRP. I'm sorry. He wants to stress how important it is. You're back where you can find out everything about XRP. Let's quickly review before we get to the main point of this post. Could you help me out? Just click on like, subscribe, and bell to join our cool group. I also want to let you know we'll give away a lot of XRP before we hit 60,000 members. It's very easy to enter to win. Just do these 3 easy things. Okay, watch out and get ready. Make sure you leave a money side code in the comments if you want to win. It gets juicy now. What if big names in finance, like BlackRock and Vanguard, are now really thinking about how to send money to other countries with XRP? Don't worry, things will get better. There are rumors that BlackRock will release an XRP-only ETF. That's what you heard. There's more, though. That's not all Lawrence Fink did. He is looking at the real estate market, which is worth $30 trillion. What do you think will happen to it? That's it. Anything can be turned into a currency with XRP. A huge $1.20 quadrillion is also being sent through the XRP system and Ripple Net by the International Swaps and Traders Association. It's not just $10,000 per XRP. That's fun for kids. That's a lot of money. 1 XRP could be worth up to $60,000. That's really cool. Now let's move on. When Larry Fink of BlackRock spoke, it was yet another big surprise. He does more than just talk. Things are about to get really big for Ripple and its XRP coin. Everything is going to be changed into tokens. And the next part of our movie has a clip that will really hit people. It was said by Lawrence Fink that BlackRock is moving towards an XRP ETF. Let's not wait any longer. You can watch this now if you want to. One way we're stepping it up is by adding a Bitcoin ETF, making things better. Do you have any more ETFs? What about an XRP ETF? You have Ether out there. I know that. What about XRP? Could you answer that? I can't. Do you not want me to answer? Yes. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, they're making fun of me. There have been a lot of strange events in the world of crypto lately, mostly when it comes to XRP. Look at this. On the well-known market Crypto.com, the price of XRP went through the roof and reached an amazing $43,000. It won't happen just once. This is another example of how XRP's value is rising without anyone noticing. Last week, we talked about a $7,000 XRP bug at a big exchange. Blockchain.com will be the next place to see this. It looks like the price of XRP goes up and down quickly all the time on different markets. Now let's talk about something else. I learned something else that is just as interesting and has nothing to do with BlackRock or the general rise in the price of XRP. Gary Gensler took over as head of the SEC after Jake Clinton. We are going to talk about him. Gensler always puts XRP in the security group, which most of you may already know. Things are getting interesting now. Robert M. Gensler is Gary Gensler's twin brother. They are the same age and look a lot alike. Robert is vice president of T. Rowe Price, which makes him a very important person there. It's not just any trade company. T. Rowe Price is one of the biggest ones that's putting a lot of money into XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. That link is cool. The head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, says that XRP is a security all the time. But his twin brother works full-time for a company that trades XRP and other coins and has a lot of money in them. I find the difference between them interesting, and it makes me think about how hard it is to invest in and follow the rules for cryptocurrencies. We now have an exciting option. Does Robert Gensler, vice president of T. Rowe Price, know something about XRP that no one else does? A lot of people know a lot about Bitcoin and Ethereum. When you think about how much the company has put into these three coins, this idea makes sense. It is possible to trade on inside information, even though the SEC says it doesn't happen in public. Many stories and studies have shown this to be true. The main things that have been looked into are market abuse and trading on inside information. They've shown over and over that the SEC is wrong. It looks like there is a pattern starting to form. Folks who work for the SEC seem to be telling their family and friends which digital assets might not be stocks anytime soon. After that, this family has some time off. When it is made known that an asset is not a security, its value goes through the roof. It was easy for these family and friends to get rich. They bought low and sold high. The SEC might lose a case against XRP, and Robert N. Gensler may have learned about it from his brother Gary Gensler. It looks like Congress wants Ripple Labs and the SEC to work together. Right now is a great time for people who want to buy XRP. The Tiro price has also made more money move into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most importantly, XRP. Someone who works with coins often says that XRP could go as high as $20,000, $60,000, or even $10,000. Some people, like Jack the Rippler, are very bullish on XRP and think it will go through the roof and even go over $589. Someone said something very strong, but it shows how much they are interested in XRP and what it might mean for the coin market. Wall Street wants a piece of XRP because it makes so much money. And my guess, an XRP ETF will be the first big move. But let's learn more. This change isn't just on the outside. We have some cool news from Crypto Basic, and source says that JP Morgan has put a lot of money into XRP. Someone who used to be the head of Ripple is interested in this. When I heard this, I asked a question. Let's talk about it. This is how the story goes. An ex-Ripple director had to say something when Ben Armstrong, who used to work for the BitBoy crypto brand, said some bad things about JP Morgan's alleged investment in XRP. Armstrong wrote a lot of posts about this subject. In the world of crypto, he is well known. It's a lot of XRP tokens that JP Morgan bought, according to him. Armstrong now says that this move could be worth up to 7.5% of JP Morgan's whole money. Wait, this math doesn't make sense. The value of 7.5 million XRP is only 7.5% of JP Morgan's total wealth, which is $4.46 million. Armed with $3.89 trillion in assets, JP Morgan doesn't quite make sense when you think about his numbers. For Armstrong, the idea that JP Morgan is said to be hoarding XRP as part of a plan is still very important. He thinks this makes JP Morgan a Bitcoin giant on the rise. It has been said that big Wall Street banks like JP Morgan might want to get into crypto, especially XRP. A lot of people think that big banks might get into crypto, but the math may not be quite right. This is something that shouldn't be ignored. There are some very interesting things going on around XRP. This is part of a larger trend where regular banks and digital currencies are working together. Armstrong's strong words have made a lot of people aware of BlackRock. BlackRock is the most well-known name in managing money. He says that BlackRock is now interested in XRP as an investment stock now that its iShares Bitcoin ETF has been approved. People are mad about this. That was not the end of Armstrong's story. That being said, he is also very interested in the case that Ripple is having with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission SEC. What do you think? There is still a case going on in court, but big banks are putting money into XRP. This shows that they think XRP will do well in the coming years. Think about what would happen if this trend of getting together were real. A lot of well-known people in business would bet on XRP even though the rules are always changing. Now, let's look at what's happening. Cryptocurrency was always going to be accepted on Wall Street. It seemed like a dream that would never come true the first time I talked about this more than 5 years ago. No doubt about it, Bitcoin is now the winner. Do you think XRP won't do the same? I should say I don't agree just to be polite. Instead of if, ask when, but that might not be the whole story in Armstrong's case. But wait, things are about to get worse. Someone who used to be in charge of Ripple, Matt Hamilton, had a lot of doubts when Armstrong said those shocking things. He didn't know what that buy would do to XRP because there are so many of them. It might be against the rules. This is when Hamilton pulls out his calculator. The difference between 7.5 million XRP and the 100 billion XRP that are already in use is only 0.0075%. He even joked about Armstrong's claims by telling him, "I think this is a fake story." As a joke, it pokes fun at Armstrong's claims, which are so ridiculous that you'd almost need a sarcastic lens to get them. The facts pretty much say it all, so let's break them down. Hamilton did the math right and pointed out the obvious mistakes in the first claim. The math doesn't make sense. But this made me wonder where this crazy story came from. All right, everyone, I found the answer when I looked it up. I found a big source. That's all there is to it. It's important to be smart and careful when writing about crypto because the world is hard to understand. I'll always tell you the truth as you try to get through this tough time. Remember that I'm not a licensed real estate agent. These movies only have facts in them to make you laugh. I always tell people who want to make a financial choice to do their homework and talk to experts first. Thanks for listening. Please click follow and thumbs up if you liked the movie.